What's up, fish nerds? It's Friday. I'm in the fish room. Got some stuff going on, some things I need to do. Want to show you what's up. I also want to apologize that I didn't make a video last week. We were out of town doing Thanksgiving with my wife's family at my sister-in-law's house in Texas. Her parents met us down there, so that's what was going on last week. That's why I didn't post anything. So apologies for that, but we're back this week. I'll show you what's going on. Sorry about that. I accidentally stopped recording. But here's what's going on right now. We have new baby plecos. These guys have been out of the cave for about 2 weeks now. You haven't seen them yet. Just because of us being out of town, I wasn't able to get them filmed and get them up here for you all to see. But they are all over the place. I have no idea how many were actually in the batch. I don't even have an idea how to begin counting them, but it's a lot. Dad's hanging out in front of the cave again. He's been coming out and eating a lot, fattening himself back up, so good on him for that. Really excited about these guys. First batch is getting really big. Big enough that if I was going to sell them, I would go ahead and start, but I don't plan on it. Second batch up here, they're getting pretty good size too. I'd say another month before they're big enough to be sold. I'll probably take them to the local fish store before I try selling them online. He has a hard time keeping these guys in stock. He gets them every now and then, but not often. Guppies are pretty well ready to go, at least the males. These guys are more than ready to go. Listed them on eBay. They've been on eBay for like 26, 27 days now. Nobody's bought any of these guys. So these are going to go to the local fish store if they don't sell in the next few days also. Probably follow suit with these guys. And something I'm running into here with between the swordtails, which I originally bought just for the outdoor tubbing, and then with the platies that I ended up using for the outdoor tubbing, and the guppies, which were the one fish that I actually intended to breed indoors, I don't have enough space to grow all these things out as quickly as I want to, man. I mean, I've got 7 tanks out here, and the swordtails, you can see how big they are. In order to grow them out full size, man, it just takes too much space. So I don't plan on continuing to breed them for now until I get more tanks. So my plan is just to sell off the ones I've got and stick with the guppies. Same with the platies here too. I sold a few of these online, but they don't sell real well just because, I mean, you can get these, or at least something similar, at pretty much any PetSmart, Petco, local fish store. They've all got these guys. So they're not going to sell very well online. They were just something that I did for fun outside with the summer tubbing. And man, they produced a lot. So I don't plan on continuing the platies either. My plan is just to focus on the plecos and the guppies. So I'll be breeding the plecos and the 240 breeders. My plan then is to empty this tank, have it on standby as a quarantine, or for birthing baby guppies, move the adult breeder guppies up here once I get rid of all the swordtails, once they're all sold off, keep my guppies up here, potentially move pregnant females down here to give birth, then move them back up, and then as the babies begin to sex out, move them over here to grow out, which is what I had been doing, or had planned on doing with the 10 gallons up here. Some more of the platies up here. But I think my plan now is I plan on using these 10 gallons for shrimp. Keep my guppies over here with some grow out in the 40 gallons, and let the 40 gallons primarily be for the plecos, because these plecos are producing like mad. So they're gonna need their space. And that'll allow me to do a little more with the guppies. I haven't had room to be collecting more batches of fry from the guppies. I mean, they've done a little bit of community breeding down there, but not to the extent that I would like to do with the guppies. So my plan is just to sell off the swordtails and the platies, focus on the guppies and the plecos as far as fish are concerned, and get some shrimp up here. I did get this tank emptied out of all the fish, so there's just snails in here now and the plants. And I plan on ordering some shrimp to start off in this tank. I'm gonna get these guys moved out of here, potentially get some shrimp in there. So that's my plans for what I'm doing with the fish. As far as some mechanical stuff I need to get taken care of, the big item is my drainage. So here's my drain pipe. The overflow from this 40 and this 20 gallon both go into that drain pipe. The higher tanks drain into the tanks below them. But this pipe leads into, you can't see it, but there's a 5-gallon bucket back there that I've got another pipe running out of, a little small diameter. You can kind of see the pipe right there that runs out around my garage door, and it goes out into my gutter drainage. And the only problem with that Sorry, I accidentally stopped recording again. I gotta quit hitting that button. I got a new phone and the buttons are in new places and I keep hitting the buttons accidentally. But the problem with the drainage, with it running outside, we're getting into wintertime, that's gonna freeze. Because Cincinnati, Ohio doesn't stay warm in the wintertime. So, yeah, the water itself is in the 70s, so it won't necessarily be the first thing to freeze over. But I am worried that once it gets cold enough that it will freeze over outside. And that pipe will freeze up, and then my water will be backing up in the drain, and I'm going to end up with a flooded basement. Problem. So the potential solution that I'm thinking about is, if you come in here, on the other side of this wall is my water heater. So coming on here in the house, got my water heater, and I've got a floor drain right here. So my plan is to come in through here and run that drainage into this closet and run it into that floor drain. That way I don't really have to plumb anything other than the drain line itself. I don't have to tap into anything. Because initially I was thinking about, well, maybe I can tap into the drain for this sink and stuff. But man, I think that's above my pay grade. So my plan is to just go through this wall and into that closet and drain it into that floor drain. Got my Xbox system, turning this into a man cave. I don't have TV, I don't watch TV, I don't, nothing like that. But we do have the Xbox, so got the system set up in here. Also bought this Black Friday for $55, and it's keeping the garage real nice and toasty. I'm actually sweating a little bit doing this video, so it's working really well, keeping things nice and toasty in here. So that's what I've got going on, guys. Oh, also something else I'm thinking about doing. I've said before, I've got each of these 3 10 gallons with drip emitters in them, and each of them overflow into this 40, which overflows into this one before it goes into the drain. My plan though, because I'm running a lot more water than I actually need to, it's not a problem, but I don't need to be running that much water. So I've also got a drip emitter in here, which is this line right here. And what I could do, because I've got the capability to just cut the water off with this little knob right here. I can just turn this and that'll cut the water off to the drip. But the problem is, with this tank being so much lower than these, it creates a siphon up here where these tanks end up draining down into this one. And with this one being so much lower, it'll empty these as far as the drip emitters are down there. So like this one, it would drain this tank all the way down to here, because that's how far the drip emitter comes down. So that's a problem. But what I'm thinking about doing is redirecting the drain off of this tank rather than coming into this 40 with the rest of them. Have this one just redirect this off to the side here and have it drain down into the 30 gallon. So I can take this off, and at that point I'm only using 3 drip emitters instead of 4, so that's going to cut down my water usage. It should still be plenty for this system and this system. Should still be plenty of water flowing through there. But then also, since these 3 tanks have identical water levels, I won't have to worry about the siphon effect if I were to decide to turn the water off. So if I was just going to only run the drip system during the day, turn it off at night, or vice versa, however I wanted to do it, I could without having to worry about my top tanks getting siphoned out. So that's another thing I'm going to work on. Top priority is getting the drain run to the floor drain instead of running outside. But number 2 is going to be just redirecting this down into this tank and getting rid of this one here. So guys, that's what I've got going on. If you've got any tips or suggestions, if watching this is giving you some ideas, something I should try, let me know. Throw some comments down there. If you like this video, like it. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in what I've got going on. I plan on doing some more videos like this, just giving you updates on what I'm working on, as well as I do plan on getting around to doing some instructional videos, some how-tos, maybe some DIY stuff or some fish profiles, that kind of stuff. Just because this is what I'm into. This is what I like doing, and I like talking about it. And my wife isn't into it, so you guys are, so I'll talk to you guys instead of talking to her about it. I'll talk to her about stuff she likes. So if you like what I'm doing, like it. If you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Y'all are awesome. Fish Nerd